Well, students, we have studied the bound for option price in the case of European options in the last class. In the present class, we will extend our study on bounds for prices of American options. If you recall, American options can be exercised at any time during the period of the option. So therefore, American options give more flexibility than European option, because in European option you can exercise the option only at the expiration date. So this flexibility in American option of exercising the contract at any time during the period, we expect the American option price to be greater than or equal to the price of the European option. Surprisingly, this is not true in all the cases. It means there are some particular cases where American option prices are equal to European options, as we will see in the following theorem. Consider two call options. Both are of strike K and both has the same period 0 to capital T. One is of European style and another is of American style. We will denote the premiums as C superscript E for European and C superscript A for American. We assume that the underlying stock does not pay dividend during the period 0 to capital T, and also we assume that the market does not allow arbitrage. If the prevailing interest rate is strictly greater than 0, then in fact we can show that both these options prices are equal. So this is a bit surprising, but it is true and it is interesting too. Let us try to prove this theorem. Note that since American option has more flexibility than European option, we have the price of American option is always greater than or equal to the price of the European option, where the underlying option is otherwise the same. Only difference is the options are European and American. Otherwise, the strike price, the period, underlying asset, everything is same. So in order to prove equality, we only have to show that the strict inequality doesn't hold. But we assume the contrary, that the premium in American call option is strictly greater than the premium of the corresponding European call option. Once you have this assumption, now you know what is the idea. We just have to construct a arbitrage portfolio. For this, we consider the following trades. Sell the American call option, that is short the American call option, buy the European call option, that is go long in European call option. So when you short the American call option, you get the premium CA. When you buy European option, you spend CE, right? Therefore, the difference CA minus CE is with you. Since you have assumed that CA is strictly greater than CE, therefore this is a positive number. You put that money into a riskless investment. For instance, you can just put it in your bank account. This is the trade, and you can see that this gives rise to a portfolio. You know how to write it. I'm not going to write and show you, but I expect you to know how to write that. It gives a portfolio which is an arbitrage portfolio. How will you show it? It's again the same as what we did previously. You first find the value of the portfolio at t equal to 0, and you show that it is 0. Okay, so that is the first step to show this, and then you make the counter trades at some time t, and at that time you close the portfolio and find the payoff, that is the net payoff, and you see that the net payoff is strictly greater than 0, and it happens without any randomness, that is the probability is 1. That will confirm that this portfolio is an arbitrage portfolio, and that contradicts. Let me just give you the counter trades to close the portfolio pi naught. Note that so far we closed the portfolio only at the expiration, that is t equal to capital T. But now we are dealing with American call option. Therefore, our portfolio may not go until capital T. It may stop sometime before itself, provided your counterpart in the short call, that is in American option, if you recall, you are a writer, therefore the corresponding holder is there. If that holder chooses to exercise the option at some time, say tau before capital T, then your portfolio has to be closed at that time. Therefore, we will assume that the American option is exercised by your counterpart who is the holder of your written American call option, exercises the call option at time say tau. At that time, you have to close your portfolio and find the payoff, and let us see how to close this portfolio. When you say that your counterpart in your American call option is exercising the option, it means that holder comes to you and says that I want to close this option, means he wants to buy a stock from you. Therefore, you have to supply the stock at time t equal to tau. So what you do, you are already holding a European call option. Look, you have bought as a part of your portfolio an European call option. So you sell that European call option. Okay, means you are not exercising. See, there is a difference between exercising a option and just selling the option. Okay, selling the option in your option market is something like you are just selling your stock in the spot market, right? So these options are also traded in the options market. So as a holder, you are now owning a European option in the option market at time t equal to tau. You simply sell it, not exercising it. Exercising means closing the contract by taking the delivery of the underlying asset from your writer, but you are not doing it. You are simply changing the hand from you to somebody else and taking the premium from that person as per the market rate of the premium at tau. So what you do, you sell the European call option, which you are already holding in your portfolio as a long position. Thereby, you will be getting a premium in your European option. That premium is something different from what you paid at t equal to 0. That is this money. Okay, let us call it as C naught E, and we will call it as C tau E. Okay, this is the premium you will get at the time when it was having the value in the market, that is the options market. So you will get this price for your European option. Now what you do is settle the American call option. How will you settle it? By supplying the stock to your holder. How will you do? You buy a stock from the spot market and supply it to the holder. So by this, you are spending S tau, because in the spot market, the price of the stock is generally denoted by S tau. Buy a stock and supply it to your holder. See, this concept is little tricky. You have to understand it. Mainly what is meant by exercising or executing a option, and what is meant by simply selling the option in the market. These two are different things. Okay. So in the first case, you are selling the option. Second case, you are exercising the option. And you see, when you supply this stock, you get the strike price K, because the contract says that your holder will buy the stock from you for the price K. Therefore, the holder will pay you K rupees and get the stock. Therefore, how much you spent between these two trades? It is you got K and you spent S tau, right? So that is what you did in the second trade. In the first trade, you got the money CE tau by selling the European call option in the option market. And also, if you recall, you have put this money in the bank, right? You take that money out, and thereby you are closing the portfolio by naught. Now, what is the payoff of the portfolio pi naught at t is equal to tau? That is the question. Let us see what is the payoff. It is given by V of pi naught of tau, right? So that is going to be, first let us take the riskless investment. It gave us CA minus CE continuously compounded or tau, right? Plus it gave you the premium from your European call option, which you sold at time t equal to tau, plus the money that you got here by exercising the American option, that is K minus S tau. Note that this should be negative. Now we have to show that this quantity is greater than 0. How will you show? Well, this is greater than 0 because of our assumption CA is strictly greater than CE. This is our assumption, right? So this gives us the first term to be strictly greater than 0. Let us see how this goes. If you recall from the bound of the European option, we had S tau minus K e power minus R tau is less than, what is this? If you recall, the bound for European call option stated at 0. Okay, if you put this as 0, sorry, this is capital T. This is capital T. So if you take tau is 0, then you have this as C European option, right? Now we have, instead of 0, we have tau. Therefore, it is sold at tau and we got the premium, this amount, right? So therefore, this we have. This can be made less than or equal to S minus K, right? S tau minus K. So that implies S tau minus K is strictly less than CE tau, or CE tau plus K minus S tau is strictly greater than 0. So this is what we want to show here. So this is coming directly from our first theorem, which we proved in the last class. Yeah, in fact, we should write this as minus tau, right? Yeah, so this is what is a general form of that inequality. We have proved it for tau equal to 0, but it holds for any tau. In fact, we can simply put it to be less than or equal to 0. Yeah, so that also you can see. So therefore, this is greater than or equal to 0. So that shows that this is greater than or equal to 0. So both together, you can see that this is strictly greater than 0. Is there any risk involved in obtaining this? Absolutely not, because whatever may be the price of the stock in the spot market at that time, we are going to have these inequalities. Therefore, this strictly greater than happens independent of whatever may be the spot price of the stock. Okay, that is the only randomness involved in this. And also there is a randomness in what is the price of CE tau. That is also randomness. So these two are random variables, but fortunately they don't affect our deterministic result here, because whatever may be the stock price and whatever may be the premium that you get from your European call option, we have proved in the last class that this inequality will hold certainly. Okay, therefore this positivity is certainly guaranteed to us. We see that the portfolio pi naught which we constructed is an arbitrage portfolio. This is a contradiction, and that contradiction shows that CA cannot be greater than CE. Okay, and we know that CA is always greater than or equal to CE. Both together implies CA should be equal to CE. In fact, this also can be proved using arbitrage argument. We have just loosely told this without any rigorous mathematical justification, but this can be proved. using no arbitrage principle. That is, in a market which doesn't allow arbitrage, you can in fact prove this rigorously. The same thing, if not, then you just have to construct a portfolio which is a arbitrage portfolio. You can show this. I will leave it as an exercise to you. Therefore, this is true in a no arbitrage market. And this completes the proof of this theorem. Note that we have proved this theorem for call option, and that too in the situation when the underlying asset is not paying any dividend. Okay, so this theorem is not true if the underlying stock pays dividend or it is a put option. In both these cases, this will be just a inequality but not a equality. That is what we will be seeing in the next theorems. Before that, let us formally state the upper bound for the price of American call option under the no dividend paying stocks. This result is not very surprise for us because we know that CA is equal to CE in this case. Therefore, the bound that we established for CE, that is the premium for the European call option with no dividend paying, holds for CA also, that is the American call option. Okay, so therefore this theorem is not a very surprising one, provided you have proved this result. Now, what happens in the case of put option? In the case of put options, we have the bound like this. You can observe that it is a slightly sharp bound when compared to the European put option. Both the lower bound as well as the upper bound are sharp in this case. Again, I leave it to you to prove this theorem. Finally, we can obtain the bound for the American options with dividend paying stocks. So in this case, we have either the bound which is coming from the European option or the sharp bound that we obtain from the American option. This has to be included in both the cases. So this is the bound coming from the European option. The idea is the same as what we do in the European option, and this is coming from the American option property. So combining these two, you can prove these two bounds for American option for dividend paying stocks. The next section is put call parity estimates. So far, we found bounds for the price of either call options or put options separately. Now we will try to find the relation between the prices of the call option and put option. So that is the aim of put call parity estimates. Let us first consider the European option. In this case, the put call parity estimate is given by the following theorem. The theorem says that you consider two options with same strike price and the same period. One is a call option with premium denoted by CE, and another one is the put option with premium PE. We assume that the underlying asset does not pay any dividend during the period and it is currently trading at the price S0 per share. Then the put call parity relationship is given by this. That is, the difference between the call option and the put option is given by S0 minus K into e power minus RT, where R is the prevailing annual interest rate continuously compounded. How will you prove this? Well, again, we have to prove it by constructing arbitrage portfolio, because we have also assumed that the market does not allow arbitrage. We can consider the proof into two parts. Case 1 is you assume that CE minus PE is less than S0 minus K e power minus RT. So this is what you are assuming, and construct a portfolio pi naught such that at t is equal to 0, you have the value of pi naught is 0 and t is equal to capital T the payoff is strictly greater than 0 with probability 1. Similarly, you consider the case 2 where you assume CE minus PE is strictly greater than S0 minus KE to the power of minus RT, and then again construct a portfolio pi naught such that at t equal to 0, the value of the portfolio is 0, and at t equal to capital T, the value of the portfolio, that is the payoff, is strictly greater than 0 with probability 1. So both cases will show that there is a arbitrage opportunity in the market. Since the market doesn't allow arbitrage opportunity, therefore both these cases cannot happen. So the only case happens is equality. So the usual idea that we have been following can be followed. The only thing that you have to take care of is how to construct these portfolios in each of these cases. Here as well as here, you will have to construct the portfolios. So how to construct is the question. I'll leave it to you to construct these two portfolios. So from the examination point of view, you have to clearly write the trades at t equal to 0 and show that the value at t equal to 0 is 0. And again, you have to write the trades that leads to closing the portfolio. And then you have to show that the payoff while closing the portfolio is strictly greater than 0. And you have to also convince that there is no uncertainty involved in obtaining that non-zero return from the portfolio. That is, we have to show that it is also happens at probability 1. So all this you have to convince. I leave it to you to do that. So remember, we have established this relationship between the put and call options in the case of European options. We will now see how to establish this put call parity relationship in the case of American options. The put call parity for American option is given as inequalities. The lower bound for the difference between the call premium and the put premium is given by these expressions. All the other hypotheses are the same as in the European option. Let us try to give at least proof of one case. The other case is just the reverse of this. So we will consider the upper bound. That is, we'll try to prove this part. So we'll assume the contrary, that CA minus PA, that is the premium of the call option minus the premium of the put option minus S naught plus K e to the power of minus R T, capital T. We have to prove that this is less than or equal to 0. So we are assuming the contrary, therefore it should be greater than 0. This is the assumption that we are making, which is contrary to what we want to prove. Now we have to attain a contradiction for this. What is the contradiction? We have to construct a arbitrage portfolio. That is the way we will arrive at a contradiction to the no arbitrage principle. Let us see what are the trades that we have to make in order to construct the portfolio. As a first step, we write a call option. It means we go short in a call option. Thereby, we will be getting a premium of rupees CA. Then you buy a put option. Thereby, you will be spending the premium PA. Also buy a share in the spot market. That also you will be spending S0 to get that. Now, what is the remaining money? You got CA, therefore plus CA. You spent PA, therefore minus PA. And also you spent S0, therefore minus S0. So this is the amount that you will be having in hand if it is positive, or you will be lacking if it is negative. Therefore, if this quantity is positive, then you invest it in your risk-free interest rate investment. For instance, you just put it in your bank account. If it is negative, then somehow you borrow it. So we assume that such borrowing is possible. Say you may just borrow this from somebody, or you assume that there exists a bond in the bond market with exactly this amount as 1 unit, so that you will go short in that bond. Okay, so somehow you will borrow this money. That's the assumption. So once you do this, you can see what is the portfolio. Well, you can write the portfolio, but I will leave it to you to write. It's not very difficult to write the portfolio. So I will directly go to find the value of the portfolio. From the examination point of view, you have to write the portfolio and show me. It's just a very routine thing. So it's very clear that it is zero, because you are borrowing or spending whatever it is, depending on whether it is positive or negative. Okay, and went long in the share, therefore it is +1 into S naught. The positive or negative depends on whether you went long or short. Since you went long in this stock, therefore it is +1 into S naught. Then you went long in put, therefore it is +1 into PA. And you went short in the call option, therefore -1 into CA. Okay, so that's how things get cancelled with each other, and you finally get is equal to 0. Now remember that it is a American option. You may not be closing the portfolio at time t equal to capital T. You may be closing the portfolio at some time t equal to tau. Let t is equal to tau be the time at which, who decides this time? Well, you have written a call option. Carefully note, you have written a call option. Therefore, the entire scenario gets disturbed if your counterpart, that is the holder of your return call option, decides to exercise the option at some time. Then you will have to supply this to that person, right? Therefore, that is the first time at which your portfolio pi naught gets changed. Okay, so that time is what we denote by tau, and it is the time at which the holder of the call option chooses to exercise the option. So at this time, you will have to close your portfolio and find the payoff. How the trade will look like while closing the portfolio: if the spot price is greater than the strike price, then recall you have gone short in the call, and therefore the holder of your short call may choose to exercise the call option at any time tau less than or equal to capital T. At that time, you have to supply the share to the holder of that call option. If you recall, you have already bought one share from the spot market and kept with you. What you do is, if your counterpart, the holder, asks for exercise, then you supply that share that you bought in the spot market and thereby close your short position. And then immediately what you can do is, you can go and close your risk-free investment also. Otherwise, what you do is, you simply at the expiration, that is at t equal to capital T, you close your long put position by selling the share that you bought in the spot market to your counterpart, that is the writer of that put option. Okay, so either you will sell that share to your counterpart of the short call, or you will sell it to the counterpart of your long put. Okay, and thereby you are getting rid of the stock that you bought from the spot market, and then you close the risk-free investment also. Thereby you are closing your portfolio. And what is the payoff that you get out of it? Let us see. The payoff is given by this. Recall that this is the money you either invested or borrowed from the risk-free asset. Therefore, it would have grown by this factor, plus you either sold through the call or through the put. Therefore, you got this money, capital K, right? So therefore, the total payoff is given by this. Now we have to show that this is a positive quantity. But what we have assumed that CA minus PA minus S naught plus K to the power of E minus R capital T is strictly greater than 0. This is what we have assumed. That implies CA minus PA minus S naught e power RT plus K is greater than 0, right? And that implies CA minus PA minus S naught to the power of e power R tau is greater than or equal to this CA minus PA minus S naught e power RT plus K, there is a plus K here also, is greater than 0. So therefore this is greater than 0. And that is what precisely we want to show, that this is greater than 0. Okay, so that is done. And you can see that here tau is, although is a random variable, because the exercise can happen at any time between 0 to capital T. Therefore, it's a random number. However, that random quantity is actually dominated by the capital T factor, and that is actually certain, right? Therefore, this randomness doesn't really matter. Whatever may be this tau, this greater than 0 holds. Therefore, this happens with probability 1. That's what is the justification, that the value of this portfolio at tau, although tau is a random variable, it is certain that it will be positive. Okay, so that shows that the portfolio pi naught is an arbitrage portfolio, and that contradicts our assumption that this cannot be positive. Because of this only we got this portfolio to be giving a positive value. Therefore, this cannot happen, and that proves the upper bound for us, that is this part. Now, to prove the lower bound, that is this part, the idea goes exactly the same. So I will leave it to you as an exercise to complete the proof of the lower bound.